Hey guys, and welcome to a different video than normal. Honestly, I'm kind of just gonna ramble on a lot. This is not a normal type of funny style video. Basically, I just want to say thank you guys, and I'm gonna talk about basically my journey on YouTube from conception to where we are now, which is 1 million subscribers. And I want to thank you guys and my friends, and I thought there was just too much that I wanted to say to put at the beginning of a video or something, so I figured I just might as well make it its own video for those that are interested. For those that are not, the normal best ofs that we always do with Senpapi Rick, one of those will be going up, and it's a doozy. It is literally from my first video that I made public to now, so it's like a really long video, and it's got pretty much everything. So if that's what you're here for, that will be going up soon, and you can skip this one. But for those that actually want to watch this, honestly, I didn't really plan this out too well. I have a little thingamajig there, with like some talking points, but I don't really know how I'm gonna get to those talking points, so bear with me while I ramble. I think the first and most important thing that I do want to say is thank you guys. Thank the people watching this. Thank like every single one of you, whether you've clicked on one video or whether you've been here since I was at 30k, 500k, 900k, whatever it is. Anybody watching anything and supporting me in any way, subscribing, liking, any of that, it genuinely means so much to me. I want to say a good like 95% of the good things that have happened to me in life have come from this career. So I wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for you guys, the people watching, and supporting my content, and just being overall such a good fan base to have. I know a question a lot of YouTubers, and including myself, get is like, how did you get from square one to wherever you are now? It was December of 2015 that I actually uploaded my first video. It was with one of my best friends at the time, and still currently one of my best friends. His name is Paul. He is a game developer, but long before that, he was just my friend, and he played games that he didn't enjoy playing at all. But he never told me that. He would just stick through it because he knew that I wanted to make videos. So he would play games that he did not give a shit about, like GTA, or in this case, it was Who's Your Daddy, which is a game that, hilariously enough, we still upload to this day. That is the first like public video on my channel. That is with Paul. He used to pretty much play everything with me, despite the fact that I could tell he didn't want to play that, but he would just do it because he was a good friend. And I'm gonna talk about a lot of my friends after this and how much of a impact they really made on this. But yeah, long story short, December I decided to start uploading to YouTube. The reason I started to try uploading, I think Smitty talked about this in his 5 million sub video, but him and I were friends in high school long before, you know, he was who he is today on YouTube. I think he maybe had 1,000 or less subs, and he told me about it, and I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to do it. I genuinely did. I thought that sounds so fun to try. I love creating stuff. I love making people laugh. I love doing all that shit. So I was like, that job sounds awesome, and like to even attempt it sounds great. I'm gonna be honest, I tried, God, probably 2013, 14, maybe even 12, I don't know, long before I ended up making a video. I tried to make my first video on Battlefield 3, it would have been at the time. I loaded up my PC, I downloaded Fraps, I played for like 15 minutes, and I had a little blue snowball that I would hold here when I actually had a funny joke to say, and I'd put it back on my desk when I didn't have anything entertaining to say, so I could play the game because I couldn't afford a mic stand or anything. So I tried that, and the video was fucking god awful, so I never even uploaded. I was like, yeah, maybe that's not for me because I'm not very good at this. Fast forward to 2015, I had a group of friends who liked to party. I was 18 at the time, I want to say, and around that age, that's when people like to, you know, party, have fun, drink legally in some places. I had no problem with that, but partying was never really my thing. I would go sometimes, but I'd always just feel like I wanted to be somewhere else. I wanted to do something else. So I was looking for something else to do, and my whole teenage years and even young adult life, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I had literally no direction. A lot of you that have been in my chat and have talked to me before know that I was in a band before this. I thought of different businesses I could do. I thought of so many different things to try to find my way out of a 9 to 5, which I want to preface, there's nothing wrong with that type of work. I worked in a factory for 2 years, sorry. I worked in a factory. I had 9 to 5s. My dad owned a chain of grocery stores growing up, so I was working in those from pretty much being a cum all the way up until I got my first real job at a golf course. But I always knew that I wanted to do something a little bit different. One night when all my friends went to a party, I said, I'm gonna hang back, and that's when I actually tried to record my first video and upload it, and it was a GTA 5 video. It's private mostly because it was buggy. Like, I don't even want to call it my first video because it was like rendered so poorly and I didn't really know what was going on. So like, I guess it was technically my first video, but I like, it wasn't recorded properly and it wasn't rendered properly, and sound effects and music, there were none. My voice only came out of the left headphone. All sorts of fun stuff went wrong with that one. But then the first actual video that I tried making was Who's Your Daddy with Paul. I pretty much knew right away that, like, you know, I was onto something in terms of like, this was something I really enjoyed doing. And right out the gate, I set myself a goal. I'm gonna force myself to do it until I'm at 10,000 subscribers. I thought, you know, I don't think I'm the next fucking PewDiePie. And still to this day, I don't think I'm that. I'm not doing anything that, you know, nobody's ever done before. I'm not like a trendsetter or anything like that. I'm just a silly little goose on the internet. But yeah, I was like, I think I can at least, you know, limp my way to 10,000 subscribers. I'll do it. I just stuck with it. I had people like Paul right away before I had any YouTube friends at all. His main goal was just to make sure that I could get content that I deemed funny. And I could literally never in a million lifetimes thank him enough for that. A little bit down the road is when I actually started to reach out to other YouTubers. I would basically watch their videos. I would go to what I personally did. I went to like GTA. I would type in GTA 5 funny moments, and rather than sorting by most viewed like most people do, I sorted by newest, and I would scroll through and see all the creators that were around my size, smaller, maybe slightly bigger. But yeah, I'd go on their videos and I'd watch it, and if I genuinely liked it, I'd be like, hey, yeah, this is tight. I'd like your content, whatever. If you ever want to record sometime or collab, or if you ever just want to check out my content, I'd appreciate that too. Honestly, I'd just network. Like, I wouldn't, please don't go into somebody's comment section and just go, bro, check out my video, this was funny, and leave like a generic comment. Actually watch their content and try to make friends, try to, you know, reach out, try to build a little community. And that led me to my very first YouTube friend. I emailed him. His name was Luke Mack. He made CSGO content mostly and GTA stuff. We played lots of games together. I don't know if there's much on my channel that he's still in. I think there is. I know I privated a lot of videos that were like pretty funny, but they just weren't good, like in terms of like the audio and visual and stuff like that. And it's just not something I wanted on my channel still. And then that kind of led to meeting more people. I met a guy named Curb who introduced me to his friend named Dergie. I'm sure a lot of you that have been around for a while will recognize the name Dergie. He makes videos. He was like probably my first best YouTube friend, where him and I would just hang out in Discord for hours and hours and hours and play games and record everything together, and it was super fucking fun. From there, that's when I met Droid. That's when I met Ty Wittis. Jaayy, I was a fan of Jaayy, actually, hilariously enough, and then I messaged him one day. Actually, sorry, I went in his Twitch chat one day and asked if he wanted to play games, and he said, yeah, let's do it. No idea why he did that, why he said yes to it, but yeah, he became a friend through that. But yeah, around that time is also when I met Grizzy as well. Back then, he was a goofy little 15-year-old, and we connected pretty damn well immediately. He actually egoed me and DM'd me saying, hey, let's play games sometime, whatever. And I said, yeah, dude, sounds good, and followed him, and he never followed me back. And all throughout this time, I did know Smitty, and Smitty was well established by this point. By 2018, Smitty was probably, I don't know, well into the hundreds of thousands. But I never really asked him to play games till I had my own fan base. The reason wasn't because I didn't not like recording with him or whatever. I was always so worried about being known as like this guy's friend. So I always just tried to look for creators around my size and try to network. And we all had the same goal. All of us just wanted to make content and hopefully one day turn it into a job. So if you're out there and you're a small gaming creator, you know, maybe take a lesson out of that, maybe don't. I don't know, it doesn't matter to me. I just figured I'd kind of explain how I got to where I got there in terms of making friends, because I know a lot of people struggle really hard to make friends on YouTube because it is daunting. There's so many people to make friends with and so many people that want to do the same thing, but everyone is so worried about like being annoying or like, you know, anxious to reach out, whatever it is. Just don't. All of you want the same thing. Honestly, from there, everything was just kind of snowballing. I think around around 10K is when I had my first video blow up. I had a video where I ranked siege ops based on their attractiveness. It was when the whole tier list thing was like meta on YouTube. But yeah, I think that was my first video to blow up. I thought I was getting like view botted or something. I was like messaging Jaayy and like freaking out about it. And I was like telling him that I'm worried that I'm gonna get like banned. And he's like, dude, relax, you just hit recommended, that's it, you're fine. From that point, it was all exciting and stuff like that. But yeah, the ball just kind of kept rolling from there. But I guess I should backtrack a little bit. When I started YouTube, it was definitely tough. I know a lot of people shit on YouTubers for never working a day in their lives and stuff like that. I will say, people who are plumbers, electricians, construction, grocery store workers, servers, they probably work harder than I do nowadays. But to get to this point, I'm gonna be honest, it was a bit of a struggle. So I worked a real job, which was at a golf course. I worked an online job, which was working for YouTubers, who I will get into in a moment. And then I was also full-time in school, first for automotive technologies, engineering, and industry, and then after that I was in college for business administration. So my life pretty much looked like wake up, go to college for a little bit. I'd usually have like an hour and a half between classes. I'd come home, try to edit a video the best I could for my boss. Then I would go back to school, finish up college, come home, finish up the rest of my boss's video, and then after that, usually at around 9 p.m., I would end up starting my video, and I would try to crank that out before 3 a.m. and then wake up the next day, usually around 8 a.m. to do it all again every single day. And then on weekends, I would also work at the golf course. It's called tournament split shift, where I would start at either 5 or 6 a.m. I would set up golf carts and stuff like that for a tournament. And then I would sit there for about 3 hours. I would come home, take a quick nap, work for another hour, and then I would go back and help clean up the tournament. So that was my weekends. And then my week consisted of college and other jobs like that. So it was a lot. I got very out of mental and physical shape. It was not a good time. I didn't approach it properly, but that is the route I took. And that is another lesson that I like telling a lot of up and coming content creators is like, please do not burn yourself out. It worked for me, but I got lucky that I didn't burn out before my channel took off, because realistically another 6 months to a year of that, and I probably would have gave up on YouTube and got nowhere, or I would have just been miserable doing it and my channel would have never popped off anyway, and I would probably have had to give up after that anyway. So please take some time for yourself, your physical, your mental health. Hustle culture is fucking stupid. It will not bring you success. If anything, it will hold you back. Take time for your family, your friends. You don't know how much time you have with them, and you should really try to squeeze every second of it you can. Work is important. Obviously, you should work your ass off, but please leave time for your friends and family. Also, side note, I know a lot of you kind of wonder who I worked for. I worked for the main three. The only three I'll mention is 407, who was my longest employer, Smitty, and Cryos were the three that I had good working experiences with. So those are the only three I'm going to mention. 407 I worked for 2 years. Ty Wittis actually got me the job, and Scotty took a big chance on hiring me because I only had a few videos up on my channel at the time, and they were just okay. So he's like, I'm going to teach you how to edit properly. And he actually did. And he was an awesome boss. He gave me Christmas bonuses. He gave me time off. He did all sorts of things that at the time a lot of YouTubers didn't do. In a time where most YouTubers were abusing the shit out of their editors, Scotty was a fantastic employer, and I have nothing bad to say about working for him. We are still friends today, and he is fucking awesome. But yeah, I worked for Smitty for 2 videos, and I'm going to show something. I have to blur it, but just so y'all know it's real. So last night is when I hit 1 million subs. I went to drop, my girlfriend made me a cake for it, and I went to drop off a slice of cake to Smitty's house, and he actually gave me this. This is a contract of when he hired me to work for him for a couple videos. And I never formally quit. So technically I still work for him according to this contract, but he framed it for me, and I'm going to hang it up, and he said, keep it around for when you forget where you came from. And then I also worked for Cryos, again, a pretty short stint for John, but John pretty much taught me everything I really know about how to subtitle and to use VFX properly. Basically, he sat in a Discord call with me, and he taught me how to properly subtitle, and he literally cut my workload for all of my editing, like by half probably. He taught me basically how to be an extremely efficient editor. He showed me how to do presets. He showed me how to do all sorts of stuff. Getting back on track to the whole, up and coming part of how I got to where I was. I think the next part was probably the Goons. The Siege Goons era, I think, is really when my channel went from being like pretty good, doing well, to just like really being like, this is my career. Something about us just clicked right away. They just made me laugh so fucking hard, so consistently, and we had such good chemistry immediately. Eventually, McNasty approached Soup and Do. I was always just kind of hanging out. I was never like as close as they all were. They all started a podcast, and then they asked Grizzy and I, because Grizzy used to play with the Goons all the time. Grizzy said no to joining the podcast, but I said yes to joining the podcast. So I became the 4th Goons member, and I'm sure a lot of you came from the Siege era and the Goons Siege era specifically. And those were times that obviously I will always appreciate, and they were absolutely amazing and super fun. The next was probably Warzone, was the next big step to get me to where I am now. Again, I've been friends with Smitty forever, but I think Warzone is when we really started properly recording together and like consistent sessions together. Obviously, Grizzy and I recorded very well together, so we threw him in the mix. He was very good friends with Smitty as well. And Puffer, same idea, where I've known him for a bit by that point, and he was just fucking hilarious and awesome to record with. But yeah, that kind of brings us to where we're at. Yeah, touching on friends again really quick. I don't know if they will ever see this, but I just want it out there in the universe as history, so that one day when they're mad at me, I can go, look, I said nice things about you in a video once. But I really want to thank some certain people. Smitty, obviously. I know I've talked about Smitty on stream a million times when people have asked me about him as a content creator. I feel like just talking positively about him as a content creator sells him so short. He has been an unbelievable friend. He has took me under his wing as his friend and as a content creator. He might not be fully responsible for the turn my life took from negative to positive, but he is absolutely a huge pillar in it. Our friendship goes past YouTube, and I genuinely appreciate him more than I have words for. Grizzy, Grizzy's like my fucking little brother. He always has felt like that. From the day we met, he always came to me with the stupidest shit ever. I would just try my best to help him with it. But seeing where he was to where he is now, unfathomable. I know you guys get to see it from the outside, but to see it directly, this awkward, insecure little 15-year-old kid to now being this fucking built like a brick shithouse, hilarious content creator who's just working his ass off and doing everything right. I just have never been more proud of somebody in my entire life, honestly. Puffer, I don't know. Puffer's just one of those friends where you just like immediately get so fucking goofy around, whether it's in person or online. Every time Puffer's around, I just feel like being the biggest fucking idiot I can be, and I don't know why he brings that out of me. The Nuzlocks we used to do together on Pokemon and stream together, those will always be some of the most fun I've ever had. But I'm just so glad he's part of my content, and I'm so glad that he is where he is now. I think him and I relate to each other because we kind of came from the same roots of working as editors to now being the ones to employ editors. I'm gonna kind of group these next few into the same area because they were like crucial to me ever getting off the ground, and that is Jaayy, Dergie, Ty Wittis, and Droid. Like I said before, 200, 300, 400 subs. They were around and they did stuff nonstop recording with me. We all just had so much fun. Genuinely appreciate those guys. Ty still helps with my channel all the time. Whenever I travel, he uploads for me. He is probably the only person on earth I trust. Such a good friend and such a huge part of the channel. Hey, it's future Matt. Past Matt forgot to mention that Ty also makes some of the genuinely most interesting content on all of YouTube. He is one of my favorite creators to watch. He will also be down in the description along with all of these guys. Please go check out all of their content. And yeah, okay, back to the video. Dergie, without him, I would have probably had nobody to record with. He was there day, night, anytime I messaged him. He was there within 5 minutes and he was down to record anything, absolutely anything. And we had a ton of fun together. Jaayy really taught me the ropes of YouTube. He was extremely inspiring to me because he was a bigger creator than me by a lot. And he really did show me the ins and outs of, you know, what to do and how to do it and what works and what doesn't work on YouTube, and it's just such a huge help to me and so funny. And Droid obviously is just somebody I still create content with on a regular-ish basis. He is just genuinely one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life. I genuinely think he's going to be one of the next big creators out there, and I appreciate having him as a friend so much. And then obviously I need to thank the Goons and Yumi. Yumi is not a goon, but I'm going to throw him in there because he feels like he's one of us. Those guys are some of the funniest motherfuckers on the entire planet, and also some of the hardest working, most of them. They came at a key point in my career where, like, you know, I really needed something to take me to the next level where I could make it a job that paid my bills, allowed me to progress with my life as an adult. Because unlike a lot of people, I didn't start YouTube when I was 14. I started it when I was 18. So I was kind of already expected to be in the real world. Without those guys, I don't know if I would have ever gotten to that next point in my career. I love them. I love the Goons podcast. I just love making content with those guys. They are all such good friends, and they extend far past the Goons brand to me. And I hope the Goons podcast goes on for quite a while longer. It is fun, and I'm glad you guys like it as much as you do. Another friend who is an insane amount of help and is still a help to this day is my very good friend, Jarrod. He is the editor of my second channel. He actually made a gaming video right about this time I did, and we both started YouTube at the same time, but he realized gaming wasn't for him. But he's actually back on YouTube nowadays. He does golf content that I participate in. His channel is called Dishy Golf. I will link it in the description. Please go check it out. He has been one of my best friends basically since I was fresh out my dad's nuts, and he has been a huge part of every aspect of my life. His golf content's awesome, and I will be appearing on that channel much more in the future. Yeah, he's definitely somebody you should go check out, and probably somebody I will be friends with till the day I die. And of course, I want to thank the production behind all the videos you guys watch, Dylan and Jonesin. Dylan's been my editor for a very, very long time, and Jonesin, hilariously enough, I met him in a live stream I did on YouTube with Paul. We played 7 Days to Die, I think it was, and he found my channel then when I had 200 subs, and he followed me since then and kept up with me and all that stuff. And then once I was looking for an editor, I saw that he replied to my tweet and was like, hey, I'm looking for an editing job, and it was pretty much immediate. Both of them are great friends to me. They are a lot more than just editors to my channel. They are friends. They are people I appreciate, and the hard work that they put into this channel is the oil between our wheels. They really keep the channel running smoothly, and without them, uploads wouldn't be nearly as consistent or high quality as they are. And the last thing I kind of want to touch on is future plans for the channel. Honestly, not too much will change. This number means a lot to me, but I think there's a reason we're at this number, and that is that what we do now works. Obviously, I will continue to evolve my content, but please don't expect this to become a cooking channel in the next 6 months. This job is genuinely the most fun shit on the entire planet, and I absolutely love it every single day. I get excited to record. I get excited to do everything that comes along with this job, good and bad, the stresses and the good parts, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. That being said, my second channel is kind of had a refresh lately. I do a lot more personal type stuff. It usually comes from stuff that I've streamed. We'll usually watch videos together and stuff like that, or I will find tier lists, or I'll find just anything goofy I can do to entertain my chat, and then we upload it on Blarg Live, so definitely go check that out. And if you want to keep up with my real life, you can check out my Instagram and my Twitter. I post pretty regularly on both of those, and I know a lot of you have asking about Good Enough Auto, and I've said it a million times in chat, but I will say it again here. It is on the back burner for now. My goal has always been and will always be to make a car show. I grew up watching Top Gear and later Grand Tour. For those of you that follow me on Instagram and stuff like that, you'll know that it is probably my biggest passion aside from gaming. So one day that will return, I promise. Whether I make some car content in between then on a car channel, that's up in the air, but I promise one day I will pinky fucking promise I will have a car show one day, and it will be awesome, but that is in the future, down the line. That is the whole shabam. That is the whole story. That is everything from the conception of my channel all the way to now. I hope that answers everybody's questions that they've ever had about what I do, how I got here, and who helped me get here. And I know I thanked you all at the beginning of the video, but I really want to thank you guys again so much for everything. Like I kind of said at the beginning, I was completely lost in life before I had this. I know everybody gets to that point around that age where you just don't know what you want. want, and everything feels like it's going to be stuck that way. Those are things that weigh heavily on you, especially because there's so much damn pressure in modern society to be something, to do something. By the time you're 20, you should have your life sorted out to certain people. And to me, that was so far from the truth. You know, I tried a million things. I took my bumps and my falls. I took my scraped knees, and eventually I found something that I love. So if you are out there and you are on a path and you don't know where it's going, please just keep going forward. Try stuff. Do not be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to take leaps and try shit, because when I started YouTube, I just did it as a Hail Mary to hope that something worked out. I didn't really know that it would lead anywhere. So please, if you are on the fence about trying something, whether it's music, art, a business, YouTube, Twitch, whatever it is, please try it, make it work your ass off, and keep in mind that it's okay to fail. Don't let the pressure of the world stop you from pursuing things you love. I know it's very easy to settle in somewhere, but please, if you have aspirations, just try to push yourself, because you really can do it. I promise I'm no better than anybody watching this. I am not special in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a regular fucking dude, and I'm sure most of you watching this are just regular fucking people. I don't think any of us come from oil prince money, so nothing is different from me to you. So if I can do this, I promise you that you can as well. So do not give up on things. Try them, have fun, live your life. Thank you guys so much for everything. I really genuinely mean it from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys. I hope we have so many more good years on YouTube. I really hope that we're making a 2 million video one day and a 3 million and onwards and upwards from there. So thank you guys so much. The video that Senpapi Rick made will be coming out probably in the next couple days from this one, and then we'll be back on our regular scheduled programming. So thank you guys endlessly. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.